Hello YouTube and welcome back. We're returning to this content as once again I'm here to pretend that I know more about your Premier League club than you do, which at the end of the day I do, as we have United fans thinking this player is world class still. Anyway, it's a new year, the start of a fresh turn, but in football terms it's the start of a new month, and that month is January, which means the start of the new transfer window. You either go into this month feeling quite optimistic, or you go into this month feeling shit scared, if I'm quite honest with you. And that's just because you don't know who's going to still be with you at your club from a month from now. And that's why I'm here today to tell you which player your Premier League club should sign in this January transfer window. But let me tell you one thing you should do first. You should hit the like button on this video, and you should hit the subscribe button as well, as, believe it or not, it takes time for me to find more about your clubs and to also give me the time to realise that this player is still overrated. I'll give you some time to just do that now. Ah, nice, you're all done. Let's begin. Hello Arsenal Football Club. Under no circumstances should you be signing Ibrahim Niyan in this January transfer window. He's actually a lifelong Tottenham supporter, so you wouldn't even get along with him. Instead, I think you guys should sign another Argentinian right winger instead, who goes by the name of Angel Correa. He's currently made 8 assists this season for Atletico Madrid and will be the perfect fit for you guys right now, which is a position you desperately need filling in this winter window. A central attack midfielder could also be good for you guys as well, someone like Tarr from Liga 1. The French midfielder is a player who can create chances, but so can Angel Correa, to be honest. I'm pretty mixed between the two, and honestly, if they could, I think they should sign both. But sticking with Correa though, it's most likely going to cost you more for Correa than it would for Ibrahim Niyan. However, I feel you'd do a lot better with Correa than you would with Ibrahim Niyan. And hey, if you don't want Correa, then you can have Ibrahim Niyan, and I can confirm this is him. For Villa in this transfer window, you'll either need another professional diver in the team once this legend has gone, or you'll need another left back. I personally think Martinez in goal has been class for you guys already and has certainly got the form at this moment to keep him going, but I feel you could do with bulking up the defence and going for a new left back who can also look more threatening in the attack. For me, Rico Henry right now is ready for his Premier League move, whether he gets it this season with a promotion with Brentford or not. At the same time as well, Rico Henry wouldn't cost Villa much either, and Brentford will get a nice juicy sum out of this as well. Dean Smith can also adapt Henry for a more threatening attacking position too, if he so wanted. I would say Brighton should go for a striker right now. Maupay again is in great form at the moment too, and Welbeck can play on the wing, but he's looking more suited for a striking position with Brighton at this moment in time. But Brighton signing a striker within their budget, like Cauley Woodrow from Barnsley, would be great. Now, why Woodrow? Well, he's 8 goals in an ever-changing championship this season, and the lad is 26 and starting to see his prime years in English football. It may also raise competition as well for Neil Maupay. Being in Brighton will get the best out of the French striker. I'd love to say that the Seagulls should go for Adam Armstrong, and no disrespect to Woodrow, but it'd be a far better signing in my point of view. But I just know Brighton is like a club like us, Norwich for instance, haven't got the biggest budget in the world, and I'm certain Blackburn would insist on a sum more than 10 million or go around 10 million for Armstrong. But for me, Woodrow could be a great bargain. Next up, we have Burnley. Gotta love the accents every time. And with a new takeover, could mean bigger transfers for this real interesting and amazing club. Now, I do like Burnley, but they have looked a little shaky ever since Jeff Hendrick left, and the club right now could need a midfielder. They're like Brighton, a club who won't have the most amazing transfer budgets. The takeover will take some time to show signs of that budget growing too. But in the meantime, let's get old Sean Dyche to sign Matthias Jensen from Brentford. A player who looks brilliant in the Championship this season and has also provided 5 assists and a goal already. He's 25 years of age, so there's still plenty of playing years ahead of him, and he could definitely add a vital playmaker to this team this season. Well, after break Frank Lampard bought half the world in the summer transfer window, I don't even know who to suggest right now. But I've got to join the trend on this one with the other Chelsea fans and say they should definitely go for Declan Rice in this January transfer window. Not only would it perhaps help me with my West Ham prediction saying they'd get relegated this season, but I also feel it'd be a right move for Rice. He's instantly got that good relationship with the players like Mason Mount and Ben Chilwell and adds strength to the defence. Obviously, he was part of the Chelsea Academy and that's how he became best mates with Mason Mount. But right now, Chelsea are a team who can score this season for sure, most definitely, but they can concede quite a lot too. It's mad how underrated Rice is right now too. I know for a fact that if he was in a Chelsea shirt as well, then he would get that hype that he so most definitely deserves. I mean, no disrespect to West Ham, but because he's in that West Ham shirt, he just isn't getting that hype that he needs, you know. So yeah, just whack him in a Chelsea shirt and just look at the wonders that can happen. Now for the old South London side, Crystal Palace. And I'm thinking they need to strengthen this defence and also added depth. This channel is all about the accents. They've conceded 29 goals at the moment in time this season in the league, and you can't blame on Guaita either. The goalkeeper has been great this season. Currently, Fikayo Tomori isn't getting much game time under Frank, so I say Palace launch a loan deal for him, perhaps with an option to buy at the end of the season too. He would be getting 6 months under Palace, which brings more game time for him, which he so desperately needs at his age right now. When we saw him last season in the Prem, he looked great, you know, great in the back. And I don't know why Frank Lampard's not starting him. It might be a fitness issue, or obviously it's most likely going to be the quality assurance that you would get with Thiago Silva. Look, it's got to happen, Palace. An Everton side who went big in the summer transfer window, and it still could go big again for them in this winter transfer window. I feel where Everton are right now, they need to still have the confidence to go for these big money signings. Ancelotti has worked with him before, but I think Everton could go for Isco. His contract will expire next year, and he's not really had the biggest selection in this Real Madrid squad, and you instantly add him to this Everton side for that extra threatening player to add to their squad this season. He can get shifted to the left of the field too, which Everton really need a regular player in there right now. I believe Isco has still got it though. It's a player who could score goals as well. If they get him as well, then the tactics completely opens up for Mr. Carlo Ancelotti, especially still having the players around him like James Rodriguez, Andre Gomez, Alan and DCL. Isco to Everton. Can this happen, Everton fans? Fulham now, and a side who play great football. However, I feel like a player who has lost it this season is Alexander Mitrovic. He can't provide that more Premier League experience that he was showing the last time he was in the league in terms of scoring goals. A more exciting striker that Fulham could go for right now, who I mentioned earlier when talking about Brighton, would be Adam Armstrong. I did say Brighton might struggle to sign him, but with Fulham, perhaps they can go all the way to reach an agreement for him. I mean, I think they've got the bigger budgets out of the two. Armstrong is quick. His finishing is there. He's got great dribbling with the ball, and he's also a very versatile player. You could play him in his normal position up front, which is fine, but you could also shift him to the right or even the left to see the best of him. He's currently got 16 goals this season too, and 3 assists. I mean, what are those numbers? I mean, Fulham, this could be the player that could make you stay up in the Premier League this season. Now, Leeds is a hard one. A team, again, who play quality football, but a lot of the time isn't proven with the results they get. Other than West Brom, they've conceded the most in the league this season, and that's why I think a hard, gritty centre-back could do them some favours, and Marvin Frederick for Union Berlin this season in the Bundesliga has just been that for them. 25 years of age as well, so he can still grow potentially. Talking about growth as well, I don't believe Meslier has been the biggest problem for Leeds this season as to why they're conceding goals. If anything, he's been the better one in this team this season. But I do think the defence is to blame here. So Leeds, bring in Frederick. He'd be a good choice at the back for you guys for the rest of the season. They've got the budget as well. We know that. Sign him up right now. He's in great form. Switching cameras now to the webcam, and I, for some reason, completely forgot to do Leicester City. I don't know why. I was midway through editing and noticed I hadn't added the Foxes in. Apologies there, Leicester fans. I really am sorry. Anyway, I've got the choice of 2, but I think I'll stick with the one player that I've got instead, which is Jonathan Tarr. The German defender would be a great fit for the Foxes and instantly add the strength on the back line. Tarr is a talented and a real upcoming defender still. It will definitely cost the Foxes, but I feel they're a club who has the riches to make this transfer happen. Soyuncu hasn't been the luckiest either this season with his injuries and fitness, and Wes Morgan is up for debate whether you start him or not anymore. I think Jonathan Tarr will be a quality signing, I really do. Obviously, Leicester have got loads going for them right now, up there in the Premier League, just like everyone else. In a fair and open competition, this league is still, and obviously going for the Europa League now and European competition, and still got the cups, the FA Cup to go for as well. Again, I'm sorry, Leicester fans. One of the kind of more clubs I respect in this league. And I really don't know why I missed you guys on the script, but it just happened. And yeah, let's switch back to the better camera and microphone. If you want to go by form in the table this season, then Liverpool surely don't need to sign anyone, but they do. If I pronounce this right, then Badiashile, 19-year-old defender from Monaco, could be such a buy. I really do hope I pronounced that right. Potentially as much as a big buy as this guy was. Big statement. But yeah, I feel he's on a good form this season. We can still see this guy grow a hell of a lot as he's only 19 years of age. He's proven to be a strong defender already for Monaco, and he can make up the numbers for Liverpool to help themselves win the league title again this season. Monaco will ask for a lot, but Liverpool could perhaps loan this player to their club for the rest of the season and potentially buy the defender in the summer. I hope the Liverpool board can pull through though. Obviously they've been reluctant before in certain transfers like Werner happening. This one I'm a little unsure with now, as Badiashile, a 19-year-old defender coming to a club to go on to win their second league title in a row is a big shout. You'd think you'd need a more kind of prominent and proven defender, but still, Badiashile, 19 years of age, and if he just grows straight away, then that's massive for Liverpool. With Manchester City, a player who I will suggest for them, who costs a lot, but would be the transfer of the window, particularly the one in my list, is a player from La Liga. There have been links with him before, I have to say, but with how infrequent Aguero is now due to fitness, and Gabriel Jesus not being the complete same as what the pundits said he would, then I think Inaki Williams is a quality striker to bring in to this league. He's fast, he's a great finisher, proven in La Liga, and he would be a great add to the Premier League. With Aguero becoming slightly past his best now too, then I think it's a great time right now to bring in a striker like Inaki Williams. And Gabriel Jesus, for me, isn't doing it right now either. What I think is Man City could just do with some more goals this season too. They've obviously got the playmakers. Kevin De Bruyne can't score all the goals in the midfield. They just need that leading striker. Inaki Williams, bring him in. Just see what wonders can happen for the Sky Blue team of Manchester. Now, with United, strengthening the defence is key in this window. It was key in the summer transfer window, but it never happened, which is fair enough, but it's proven that they still need that defender, and they need to get him right now in January. For instance, in the Champions League, their defence was completely broken at the best of times, and despite their great recovery since November, they could still do with strengthening things up. For me, they missed out massively when they didn't get Dayot Upamecano, if I pronounce that right. Again, literally am the Paul Merson of YouTube. They were to get him in the summer, but it never happened, like I said. Now, with United right now, I mean, they've got some great defenders already. This team is good. Don't get me wrong. Their quality is clearly there. But Maguire is obviously a obvious starter each week. I think he's great. Making blocks. Tackles are good. He could be more clean with his tackles at times, but that's just a thing that they can work on in training. Dayot Upamecano, they bring him in, they get that defensive partnership working between him and Maguire. It needs to happen right now, United. Dayot Upamecano, offer all you can for him. I know for a fact that Newcastle will not want to spend a penny in this January transfer window. Mike Ashley is shitting himself right now anyway. The fact that he has to see Sports Direct shut in the national lockdown, which stops me from buying these bangers, is an absolute travesty for the both of us, to be honest. Okay, Newcastle fans, here is a signing that would be worth your time as you continue to grace this league. Nicolas Gonzalez is 22 years of age and currently has 4 goals in 9 for Stuttgart this season in the Bundesliga. I believe he'd be worth a shout in the Premier League, and yet again, he's another young signing on the list, so he can only grow for your club. They will have to pay a little, 20 to 25 million, I think Stuttgart would offer for him right now. Although it's whether you guys can get someone like this, you know, someone that can perhaps be there as a playmaker for Callum Wilson or be a more kind of prominent goal scorer. The thing is, you know, bringing in Ryan Fraser, I don't know if it's happening for you guys. That isn't a Newcastle signing for me, you know, and you know, I know it hasn't been great over the years for Newcastle, but Ryan Fraser wasn't happening. Remember the likes of Demba Ba and Tise. But he will be a great fit, and it would only add threat as well. As the only threat in the attack right now seems to be Wilson and Saint-Maximin. Gonzalez can also either play on the right or the left too, so you can still have Saint-Maximin on the left, play Gonzalez on the right, and then Wilson up front on his own. Bottom of the table, Sheffield United will only reach for loan agreements in this January transfer window. That is if they do any business whatsoever. And for me, a striker is what they need just to add goals for this team and also add that depth, of course. Now, guys, stick with me. This may sound really, really stupid. I feel a small majority will agree with me, but see if Jermaine Defoe will come and play for your team until the end of the season. He's that player who just doesn't ever need to retire. He has got 2 goals in 7 games this season for Rangers, but imagine him back in the Prem. I honestly think he can score some late winning goals as well. I can see him getting you guys points and potentially just getting that survival run going. I mean, who knows? This could be a massive L if they got him. I do realise that. You know, he is 38 right now, but when we saw him in the Prem at the later stage of his career, it was with Bournemouth and Sunderland, and he was actually doing bits for these clubs. You know, still look quality. Look, just have a think, Sheffield fans, but just Defoe, having him on, you know, like having him on the bench, bring him on, he could get you late goals. It'd be quality, you know, a quick little player to have in this team. The Saints now, and before I start, I just got to say congratulations for beating Liverpool in the league. A whole country respected you that day. Anyways, who should they add? Well, another good question. To be honest, I think they're great on all departments right now through in the field. Perhaps they could add some depth in the left back position though, and a potential playmaker or even goal scorer for the team. They're still playing Bertrand regularly, which is fine, you know. I think he's a good player. But they could also add Jay Da Silva from Bristol City to the squad. He is someone who is fast, can add to the attack and pace up the field as he suits a more kind of left wing back role. I know for one that he could add to the support for Danny Ings and Shea Adams up front. They wouldn't have to pay a lot for him either. You know, another club who doesn't have the best of budgets in this league, which is completely fine because they still get points each week. But Jay Da Silva, another player, just like Rico Henry, a player who is ready for the Premier League, but maybe not in a team that can get to that league just yet. Spurs need a defender in this window, a centre-back to coincide with Toby each week to get a regular defensive duo partnership flowing. I've seen the Sergio Ramos rumours going around, and it would be a great transfer if they could get that happening, don't get me wrong. I really don't know if I myself see it happening though. Ramos, I think, if anything, will want to play until the end of the season there, or even play his rest of his career at Real Madrid, obviously a Spanish defender. However, I do say they need a centre-back, don't get me wrong, but someone else who I see them linked with is Marcel Sabitzer, and I'm fully backing this link to be the player that I'd love to see Spurs sign right now. They just need that little bit of added strength in that midfield, and also need that player just to keep creating these chances for this team to get Kane and Son flowing with as many goals as they possibly can. He's also a goal scorer as well, of course, so he can add goals for this team. And you still can't write any team off in this league this season. You still can't write Spurs off, even though I know they had that performance against Liverpool and that performance against Everton. But right now, you still can't write them off. Anything is possible in the Premier League. And make Marcel Sabitzer happen. Perhaps that's just enough to get them perhaps potentially to the top for the rest of the season. West Brom are another club favourites to go down this season in the Prem. As I said earlier with Sheffield United, they should look for either loan agreements this season or transfers that will suit the Championship more than the Prem. But right now, I think Sam Allardyce is committed to not let them go down. With all this in mind, West Brom should go for a striker, someone who can start scoring goals for the team consistently each week. They once got Sturridge, and I think this time round they should get another Liverpool striker by the name of Divock Origi. Now, Origi isn't a starter anymore for Jurgen Klopp, and I feel West Brom should settle on getting him on loan with perhaps an option to buy if he keeps the team staying up in this league. I don't know if West Brom can seek his wage requirements. That's the only thing here. West Brom fans, could you see this transfer happening or even happening on loan? Obviously, they've already brought in Robert Snodgrass, a great playmaker to have another player who can score goals, particularly from set pieces. He's quite nasty in those set pieces. I know they're linked with Andy Carroll, but I can honestly say that he is a striker that won't keep them up this season. I certainly think that anyway. But with this thing with West Bromwich Albion, if they pulled off a loan deal like Origi, then that's mad. That is really mad, and I'd love it to happen. And a part of me wants to say I can see it happening. However, Origi not happening is very likely. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've seen no links on this. I've just suggested it there on this channel today. But a player they could settle for is Lucas João from Reading. It's 13 goals for him this season with 4 assists. He's played more games than Origi this season as well, so we do have to bear that in mind, which, despite quality, can help deciding who to go for here, in terms of fitness, of course. I'd love West Brom to go for Origi, don't get me wrong, but Lucas João may be more of a realistic signing for this club, in all respect. One player that I see linked with the Hammers, and I believe they should sign right now, is Josh King from Bournemouth. Now, I'm with a lot of people who are really surprised with how well West Ham have done so far in the Premier League this season, and I feel Josh King can add to this successive season for them. It instantly adds depth to the team and leaves Moyes with creative decisions to think about having a player like King in the squad as we continue on to the season. There's nothing wrong with one player up front, which is how they already play, but with Josh King in the squad, then at least it gives them that option to play the 2 up front. It can add that support to a player like Mikel Antonio, who right now is one of the strikers that plays for them, as they are one less without Sebastian Haller, who's now obviously gone to Ajax. So straight away they do need a striker to replace him. I mean, right now West Ham may as well just stick Soucek up there. Let's just be honest, boys. Bournemouth once had an informed Josh King, and I do really wonder if Moyes can get him back there again. Obviously coming towards an end of a contract as well. Bournemouth yet to announce a new contract for him, so the more the merrier reasons for him to go for West Ham. Finally, we have Wolves, and again, it's time for another striker to be bought, I'm afraid, boys. Jimenez is still out with that fractured skull from the Arsenal game, which was pretty nasty, so adding another striker to this team will certainly create that much needed depth now. I mean, Fabio Silva can't do it on his own either in this league. At first I thought, buy a senior striker, someone who knows this league, but then I thought, Wolves did go to town in the summer with their signings. And the expenditure went through the roof. A player who is 21 years of age right now and has recently been unleashed despite coming back from a cruciate ligament rupture is Ibrahim Niyan. Now, he's probably a player who's the most unheard of on this list, but he is a Senegal striker who plays for Metz in France in Ligue 1. And again, it is only Ligue 1. It will get labelled as the Farmers League, but the lad has played 6 games this season and scored 6 goals. It's a striker who Wolves could get on loan or even buy for him. I wouldn't think they'd have to spend any more than £15 million for him right now. Whether he'll score or not, it's added depth, which is an issue at the moment for the striker department in the Wolverhampton Wanderers squad, especially if they do lose Fabio Silva whilst Raul Jimenez is still out too. It's another massive gamble, particularly like the Jermaine Defoe that I suggested for Sheffield United. It's whether it will happen or not. It will guarantee them goals, let's say, in the league. Just from my own point of view, Niyan for me could really bang in this league. I don't know, who knows, but Wolves, just sign him up. Anyway, there are my 20 players that should sign for the 20 different Premier League clubs in this January transfer window. I know some fans would disagree with me, and if that's the case, then please comment down below. I'd love to hear your opinions, of course. There are some clubs in this league that desperately need to make signings in this window. Having that transfer budget is so hard right now, of course. Money as an issue is a massive problem, not just with football clubs, but with everyone in the whole world right now, of course, with what's going on. But yeah, do get involved and tell me who you'd love to see your club sign in this January transfer window, even if it's not a Premier League club that you support. I know I'm part of that category. As always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, then smash that like button. And if you'd like to see more content on this channel, then please be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. I'm trying to go to town on this channel in 2021. I really am, especially with all this time I'm getting during lockdown. But anyway, it's been a blast doing these today. Also, if you never want to miss a video, then be sure to follow my Twitter as well. Links to all my socials will be in the description too. That is it from me. Thank you guys for watching today. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. South London side, Crystal Palace.